Panharmonicon presents a podcast.
自分がどんな人間かが分かるのも苦しいことや辛いことだけなの。ほんと辛い目にあった時だけ自分の心の形が分かるのよ。
録画女がいないな。
We ready for you.
Hey. That's me slapping my... I was say slapping my meat. But I'm not slapping... I'm slapping my arms. That the meat... Welcome to another episode of...
Out of a moving car, just abandon that sentence.
Welcome back, folks, to another episode of Panharmonicon Studios Presents.
A podcast.
Podcast.
I'm one of your hosts, Farron.
I am one of your hosts, Damon.
And I'm one of your hosts, Andrew.
Welcome back. But hey, if this is your first time, thank you for being here. We always appreciate the company. Please, if you are liking what you're hearing, whether on YouTube or Spotify, please be sure to rate it. Give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you're there on YouTube. It's pretty binary. Or, give us a rating there on Spotify. We appreciate the feedback. But also, if you like what you're hearing, please be sure to share and subscribe. And if you're already subscribed, make sure that you have notifications turned on. And I mean all notifications. You want more than just a podcast. I know you love us. I know you want more. I know you can't help it. So make sure you turn on those notifications so that you are aware of any time that we are dropping new content. Because it won't only be the podcast. We're evolving. Is that a Pikachu?
Yes, much like Pokemon, we are evolving.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I thought that was like engraved into the wall.
Oh, it's an Eevee.
It's
It's a little nightlight.
Well, I showed you my Pokemon knowledge.
It's okay.
My apologies. So it is spooky month.
Spooky,
So we're covering the spooky.
skeletons.
Just keep on going. What is this song? Is this?
Spooky, scary skeletons.
Ooh.
It's like it's like a meme song. That's crazy. That's nice.
Yeah,
Wow.
I don't.
Hey, look at that.
Sing it again.
Spooky, scary skeletons.
Oh, shivers
in
down
your spine. There's more to it.
Yeah, that's all
I
I
was hoping. I was hoping.
full
Yeah.
number song and dance. It's like playing his rib cage, like a xylophone. It's like one of those
Skeleton.
things.
Yeah. Playing
and then
rib
they,
cage.
It's like an old
doing
flash.
dancing.
I think the song in that are separate.
Yeah.
But people put them together, and it's like an old Fleischer like cartoon, like some Betty Boop stuff, where like some skeletons come out and they start dancing. He's like playing this. Yeah, it's spooky month.
It is, which is always a fun time. It's not yet reached temperature-wise what I would like for spooky month, but maybe one day we will get there.
I think we're headed towards true fall. We were in false fall for a little bit.
Yes.
And then we hit third summer, and now we're headed back into true fall.
Ohio, man, is like the hobbits of the season.
I was gonna say, yeah, we've had 2 summers. How about third?
How you guys doing?
I'm doing all right.
Doing all right.
All
right.
Definitely. Speaking of Pokemon and evolving, I think I said this like a few weeks ago that I'd gotten into like some fan games that existed. I've been playing this one called Unbreakable Ties, which is, it's crazy to think what people can do when they're not like video game developers. Like this, like it's crazy to see the like what takes the Pokemon company and Game Freak all this time to do that they don't even know do all that well anymore. That like just a group of like maybe like 10 devoted people can like make just as good a game, if not better, with like less tools, but with just more grit. It's really crazy. It's great to see that like we can exist in a time where like independent people can make video games. And I know like indie games, like, but I'm just like not even like developers, not people who have been spending all their lives like working on developing skills to do it. Just like you get some artists who can do pixel art very well, and you get like just the tools, and they'll just slave away at it until they get it. And I think that's just really cool.
It is. Has it made you think any of dabbling in it?
I have actually thought about it. I've actually been getting back into art, just to like, because I have my moments where I'm just like, oh, gotta get art out, gotta get art out, and then it just kind of goes away, and it sucks because like you lose that skill a little bit, and you have to like resharpen it.
Yeah. I mean, you have to resharpen it, but do you feel that it gets like you can resharpen it faster, or is it just depend on how long
I
it's
feel like,
been?
admittedly, I think because age just taking me like longer. Like I look at some of the stuff that I did back in like college, I'm like, man, I actually could really draw back then. I'm sitting there like I've got better tools to do it, and I'm just sitting there like, man.
But how often would you say that you were doing it back in college, or even before?
And that's the thing. I think like during college, I was drawing all the time. Like,
yeah.
I'd be drawing like on the bus to like classes. I'd be drawing like when I was at home. I always had pads, and I got pads now, but like I just don't. Like I'm just so busy,
Right.
that I don't think to draw.
Yeah.
And it's like I feel like I've kind of lost like my style a little bit. I've lost like like the way that I do things. So I'm just like trying to get back into it more to really just sharpen the blade.
Sure.
But how are you fellas doing?
I've been doing all right. I found, I guess found is maybe not the right word in these algorithmic times, but there was a video. So this is maybe a very niche cut, and I apologize if I lose you both. But there is a content creator called Nate the Hoof Guy. That what he does is I think it's like, he might be a fair that might just be for horses. But what he does is he goes and he like checks.
Yeah, cleans out the hooves.
Yes. Yeah. So he's just like, and he has like voiceovers. So he's like, oh, I see the heifer is, like limping in the chute. Like, that's like, let's dig into this. So it was that guy's voiceover, but then it was someone cutting into a pint of ice cream. And I was like, that is like the best combination. Maybe not the best, but it's just such a good combination of just like content that I was like, I need more of whatever this is. Like, not necessarily Nate the Hoof Guy and ice cream, but I was just like, what other things just go together like that? I was like, I need more of whatever that is. And it's something we gotta
is it
find.
not necessarily things that you wouldn't think go together? Or like, because I guess with his voiceover, and because I'm assuming his voiceover is just like stripped from one of his videos. It's not something that he
for
did
sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you feel that like, had you ever watched one of those videos and thought to yourself, I wonder what it would be like if you opened ice cream?
Yeah. No.
Okay.
And so that's the thing of just
Use
like
your imagination.
yeah, right. I'm just like, what else could you put together?
Yeah.
Because like that's just kind of the wonderful creativity of the internet, I guess, of just someone being like, you know what, this is ice cream. That's what this reminds me of.
It's just always somebody thinking.
Yeah.
There's always a person. Because I'm starting to really think like, if I think of something, has someone already also been thinking it and made it?
Oh, 100%.
I never had an original thought in my life. That's what I've learned is just like, oh, it's crazy.
You know, it was funny because earlier today I was surfing through YouTube and I came across a short. I was like scrolling through the shorts and it said movies in a minute. And I was like, interesting. Because we put out a short called Movies in a Minute. And, of course the alliteration wouldn't come across that, but I looked at it and it was the video that had been posted or published on like September of 2022. It was like 3 years ago. And so I was like, to that same end, I suppose, like, yeah, if you've thought about it, somebody probably already has. And speaking of squirrels are getting out of hand. Squirrels. I think squirrels might be doing too much now.
Wow.
Yeah, I've got this weird relationship with squirrels.
Didn't you try to foster one, or was that like a
well,
chipmunk?
I think it was a chipmunk.
Okay.
I tried to foster him for a day. It didn't go very well. I named him at work, but then I had to kick him out because he panicked once he came back. I think maybe an animal tried to kill him, and I found him on the road. And I was like, I gotta save you. But when I was in college, man, I'm pretty sure I saw a squirrel unalive itself.
Whoa.
It was running across a building, and then it jumped off the roof. And it was like I had just gotten back home at the townhouses that we lived in, and it was running across the roof, and then I saw it leap off the roof, and it never put its hands out to like brace his fall. So it basically just like threw his hands back and face first into concrete. And then the other day, on Saturday, I was leaving. I was heading to the gym to meet up with one of our buddies, and I heard this like rustling. So like there was like a stone wall, and I'm like, what is that rustling? And like I thought it was, I don't know, an animal, which it was, and it was a squirrel. And I'm like, oh cool, look at this squirrel. And it's just chilling on top of this like broken rubble / brush that had kind of been growing out of it. But it wasn't running away from me, which I thought was weird because normally a squirrel will dip out. They don't wait. And I had a bag of cookies in my hand, just like some extras that I had, and I was going to give them over to my workout partner. And I'm like, this is a perfect opportunity to like see if the squirrel likes my cookies. So I unwrapped one of the cookies, and then I realized why the squirrel hadn't run away. So it hightailed it out of the brush. And dude, its hind legs were completely crushed. I mean, like, completely flattened. Completely, dude. Like, the sheet
paper
of paper.
thin?
Yeah, and so it could only use its front legs. And so it crawled away from me, and it basically was like Lieutenant Dan from Forrest Gump. And it's just dragging its hind legs behind it, and it went under a car. And I was like, that's pretty fucked. So I did leave it a cookie, just in case. But it got me thinking, like, how did that happen to that squirrel? Like, how did that happen? And then he get away, and now he's just living this life. Like, there's no squirrel doctors. There's no squirrel private
Wheelchairs.
investigator to try to figure out. They know wheelchair. They can't, like, just, like, you know, go up and live his life normally. And it made me wonder, like, it would be nice if there was, like, a way to investigate this whole thing. And it spun into this idea for a show called Otis, about a squirrel inspector. Otis would stand for Old Timey Inspector Squirrel. So it's a squirrel that's kind of dressed up like Sherlock Holmes.
That's good.
And then it solves squirrel crimes. Mm-hmm. And then eventually, I like to cross over into other sort of serialized
IPs.
crime dramas. But it's just like,
Oh,
Otis.
So like Otis and like Law and Order.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Otis
Dun,
video.
dun. Dude, yeah, you can. Come on, man. Otis.
Otis is a. I mean, there are squirrel doctors. That's a veterinarian.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
But
like a squirrel.
a squirrel giving another.
But you mean like a squirrel,
surgery.
like a
Yes.
hospital where little
Yeah.
squirrels are doing squirrel doctoring things.
Oh, Mercy Health. Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of squirrels currently because
Oh.
they are terrorizing my backyard.
Oh no.
Backyard has several black walnut trees in it, and they seem to really enjoy black walnut trees. So much so that they are now taking the black walnuts, coming up to my porch, eating the black walnuts, discarding everything very specifically
Wow.
on the porch.
Wow. Leaving
They
their
leave it.
trash.
Wow.
That's rude.
That
Yes,
is so
I'm
rude.
like, you going from the back, like you taking that from the backyard. It's not like they landing on my porch.
Yeah.
You're taking them from the backyard to my
Yeah.
porch. Why? What beef I go? What? I'm providing you food. I could just I could get rid of those trees. I'm providing you food, and you do this to me. So I got to keep cleaning my back porch because they just want to
Just full
litter it with black
discard black walnuts.
So messed up. But you know what's messed up? It's a little thing I like to call bad movie descriptions.
Ooh. Round two.
Give me another one.
Yeah, I got
Not
another one for
Spider-Man.
you. I'm gonna say you probably have watched this movie before.
Okay.
So in this one, guys, if this is your first time listening, what we are doing here is I've gone to the subreddit known as Explain Movie Plots Poorly, and cherry picked a few that I thought were going to be interesting to test old Farron and Andrew with to see if they know their movies. In this one, a woman and her son are pursued by a murderer on a mission to kill the boy. They are aided by an unlikely ally.
Terminator?
Sounds like it, but nope.
Yeah, I knew it. Like, he's doing is that red herring shit, man. I was like, it sounds like Terminator 2. Sounds like Terminator 2. Okay, a woman and her son. They're on the run.
Mm-hmm.
They got a gun. They having fun. No, I'm kidding. Pursued. Okay, but they're helped by. So there's a stalker coming after them to kill them, but then there's also another person that is protecting them.
Mm-hmm.
An unlikely ally. Is it
Okay,
Air Bud? Air Bud?
That would be crazy.
Yeah, dude. Like what?
I gotta get the bad guesses out to have the good guess enter my body and soul.
Okay.
It is a 2010s movie.
2010.
Okay, good to know.
Ooh, okay. Oh boy. This isn't one of those movies that's like Morgan Freeman and Henry Cavill and like Bruce Willis, one of those like straight to DVD
No.
sort of combos. Okay, so this would have come out in theaters.
Are they known for being in?
I have seen some of those movies where it's like
Names 3 prolific actors. Like,
no, dude, because I've seen. Oh, but those actors though, they're having some movies. It'll be like Luke Hemsworth, Morgan Freeman.
Wow.
And then I'm like, wow, that's interesting. Like Henry Cavill doesn't do that so much anymore, but there have been some. Yeah, man. Yeah, go to Walmart.
Dig around in their movie bin.
Yeah, man. $5. This is tough. Okay. How many hints are we able to like? Is there a
I guess
cutoff?
how many lifelines?
Okay, so how many hints do you think you would need?
I guess
I
the
think we should
classic
have it at
3.
3 hints.
Yeah.
3 hints?
Classic
Okay.
3.
Are you ready for hint number 2?
I'm
Yes,
ready for
please.
number 2.
It stars a person who is also a star in a movie that we have very recently done.
Also stars in a movie that we have very recently done, and it will be an episode that's already been published.
No.
Ooh. So Bruce Willis, maybe? Is that?
Oh.
He's looking into the light.
2010s.
He's finding it.
Who lives on a pineapple under the sea?
SquarePants.
Starring somebody of an episode that we... Okay. So it's really recently covered.
Oh, I guess who was Lilu? Who was the actress? I almost said Mila Kunis. That's crazy.
Oh. Mila Jovovich.
Joke
You were
right.
close.
Okay. Right first name. Because I don't like. I'm just going back to like the Underworld series, but I think that was wrong. I said
Kate
that.
Beckinsale, yeah.
Okay. Yep. All right. Shit. Oh, she was Resident Evil. That's right.
Oof. All right. Third hint.
Time. Travel.
Not Benjamin Button. Is it really not? Oh, he's got it.
Looper?
Yes.
Oh!
Nice. Okay. Congratulations.
I got my loot and I take a seat.
I wasn't sure whether to say that it also starred a person in another movie that we've done, but I was like, that would be too broad.
Who would that have been?
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Batman.
Batman.
Oh, yeah. Oh, nice. Yeah, there goes another one. Yeah, as soon as it was like, yeah, it's Terminator 2. But yeah, he did that to us with Spider-Man, or I guess the Sleepaway Camp.
But that really doesn't have anything to do with the actual movie we were doing.
Mm-mm.
It is Spooky Month,
Yep.
which means we were doing another spooky title. I'm not going to call this a spooky title. This is I don't know what to call this. I do know what to call it.
Traumatizing.
It's called Audition.
Yeah. Ooh, nice.
a movie directed by Takashi Miike. Takashi Miike, I'm sorry, and was released in March of 2000. I believe it premiered at the Toronto Film Festival in 1999.
Gotcha.
Which is why it has that weird, like, dual
Time okay.
releasing thing. I learned it is very hard to get information on Japanese movies during this period of time, which is going to suck, and a couple other movies that we're going to be doing. But so the closest thing I could get was supposedly it had a budget of $250,000.
Oh wow!
Its worldwide box office was $363,000.
Wow!
And I have no clue what its Japanese box office is. its American box office was like 120 something. So I don't even remember this movie coming out.
Oh yeah, I mean,
But
you're not gonna
I was
remember
also
a movie that made
13.
that much.
So it probably came out in like 5 theaters tops and got what it got. 83% critic rating versus 80% audience rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Movies that it went up against. So again, very hard to get this information because I guess Japan just didn't want people to know. I couldn't find because American movies do come out in Japan, so but they also don't come out at the time that they come out here. So it's hard to tell if they had any real American movies that they had to deal with. But movies that they did actually compete against in Japanese theaters are the very first One Piece movie.
What?
That tells you exactly how old
Jesus
One Piece
Christ.
is.
Don't say that.
Wow. Doraemon, A Grandmother's Memory, and Doraemon, Nobita and the Legend of the Sun King. They were 2 shorts of the extremely popular Japanese character Doraemon, that came out the exact same day. I guess it was like 2 shorts back to back. That did 3 billion yen.
Wow. That's
So
crazy.
yeah. And Crayon Shinchan, Jungle That Invites the Storm. All of these movies did far better than Audition. All of them also animated.
Oh, very cool.
Animated movies seem to do big in 2000 because other top movies in Japan that year were Pokemon the Movie 3 and Lupin Sansei. I forget the subtitle of that one, but basically Lupin the Third had a movie come out that year, and they also did gangbusters. So Takashi Miike also has a lot of direct video movies that came out that year. One of them, the series he's known for is Dead or Alive, not the Dead or not
like the
not the video game,
right?
And also not. I think there is an American set of Dead or Alive movies.
Yeah,
neither of those. This is like a Yakuza.
We've seen one.
Yeah, we've seen one of them,
and it has one of the craziest endings I think I've ever seen in a film.
So that set me up to know what I was getting into. When it came to
into the heart or something, there's
he does a lot of like these type of movies. It is his bread and butter.
You gotta be kidding me. I'm sorry, I'm just really shocked that he like it makes sense, but damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
what does 3 billion yen translate to in American dollars?
Or I guess in 1997?
Back in 1997?
2000.
3 billion yen to USD. I didn't say million, I said billion. Now it would be 20 million. 2000.
700?
I don't know how much. Well, because again, the yen was doing pretty bad during that period, which plays actually directly into this, like, kind of the backdrop of this movie.
Yeah, it was a question that they had, like very early on. It's his name Yoshikawa, his friend, says something to the effect of recession doesn't affect entertainment industry or
film.
Yes, it does.
And it's really interesting, this movie. When that part came up, I was like, oh yeah, this is like it's not playing like it's like a period piece. It's playing as if it's in the time period that it's being filmed in.
Yeah.
And this is a country that was deep in economic turmoil during that time. For just a brief history lesson on the Japanese economy. After World War II, the country basically had like a crazy amount of economic growth. And this lasted from 1950 something all the way to essentially 1989. And it was basically known as the Japanese like economic bubble. And they were just booming. It's why we saw so much innovation from them, because they just had the money to really work on it. So there was a period of time really where a lot of people thought that Japan, a lot of the way that we look at how people think that China might like take over things today is a lot of the way that people in like the 70s and 80s looked at, 60s, 70s, and 80s looked at Japan. I mean, like they were entering like the automobile business. They were basically like taking jobs essentially away from.
Isn't there like in like a snippet of or like a clip where like Reagan was talking about sort of the pressures that the like Japanese and the auto industry was like putting on?
Yeah, because they were making
like
cheaper, more efficient cars.
Yeah.
And like Detroit was in shambles really because of that. So, but they also had their innovations in like the mechanics, like the computer industry, mechanical industry. We saw the way they worked in like video games and being able to work and help create like CDs, help create Betamax, help create A-Track, help create eventually like DVDs. So after the bubble burst, and the bubble basically burst because Japan wasn't, their money minister was not doing great with handling the money, but also a lot of external factors really actually put in like a collective efforts that weakened the shit out of the yen. And as a result, the 90s and really the 2000s as well, but definitely the 90s are known in Japan as the lost decade.
Oh.
And it is kind of a dark time for them because they were so uncertain, and it's a lot like the way that we look at Black Tuesday, whenever the stock market crashed and the Great Depression set in. So during this time, I mean, they were still creating stuff, still like doing things, but there was just a general sense of just malaise and doom and gloom happening, which we can definitely see in this movie. And it kind of like, while it is not a very big focus in this movie, you can tell that it kind of is in the backdrop of the movie and kind of really like flavors the way that the characters like kind of move and act and do such things. Anybody get the synopsis on this one? We talked a lot around it, but not about it.
I think the synopsis basically is you probably want to wish that Hinge or Bumble was around at the time.
I got pulled up if you want me to go for it. I mean, that would be...
Yeah.
Well, I mean, this is kind of speed dating in a way.
Do you have no notion, or are you...
Yeah, I got it, yeah. So, the synopsis is, this disturbing Japanese thriller follows... Oh, brutal. Ayama, Ryo Ishibashi, a widower who decided to start dating again. Aided by film producer friend Miyuki Matsuda, Ayama uses auditions for a fake production to function as a dating service. When Ayama becomes intrigued by the withdrawn, gorgeous Asami, Ai Shina, they begin a relationship. However, he begins to realize that Asami isn't as reserved as she appears to be, leading to gradually increased tension and a harrowing climax. And harrowing it was.
Yeah. It was a harrowing climax. I saw this film for the first time. It was we had a horror theory class back in college, and it was a lot of films that we saw during that time, like Rosemary's Baby, Psycho, which I guess kind of like had to be done, Audition, a slew of things. Yeah, so this was one of those movies that our theory teacher slipped in there, and it's interesting because I'm like, what the fuck?
Was it lauded as like one, like as not prime horror, but like one of the greats? Because I was. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Because I had to. I guess not spoilers, but I had to read a synopsis just because I was so confused
as to what was happening.
As to like maybe the last 45 to 30 minutes of the movie, and it was like lauded as like one of the great horror movies of just like how well everything was done.
Yeah, it's. I do think it's. There's so many things that can be said about it. I feel like because it is it's such a slow burn. It's like almost 2 hours, like hour 55 minutes or so, and really not much of anything happens up until like the climax of it, which I feel like that's probably why they include that part in the synopsis of like a harrowing climax, because that is like the bulk of where everything happens. But it's I think if you went into the movie not knowing what it was about or not having any anticipation of being scared, like that part of it comes out of nowhere. But I think in a case like this, where you're like, oh, it's horror movie month, it's spooky month, let's like watch a horror movie. Like you're probably watching it for like the first hour and 15 minutes. Like,
where's the horror?
Nothing to do with horror. Like this is, save for some of the scenes where, and I don't know if it's kind of like a dream, because the film can be like have very like surreal qualities to it, where you see Asami like kneeling on the floor waiting for the phone call, and it's just like there's that bag, this giant sack, you don't know what's in it. I gotta say, like, first time I saw that movie, especially because we were in class and so the sound was way better, that scene shocked the hell out of me, because finally when it
titties
moved,
in class?
Huh?
You seen titties in class?
Oh, in college? Yeah.
Wow.
There was no qualms.
Oh, good for them.
About the boobies, stuff like that, dude. Yeah, there was no.
That came out of nowhere.
The truth, like, why?
Like
was
when
she
they
taking
were
her
in,
clothes
and
off?
she was taking those clothes off in the
Yeah.
audition. I was like, whoa, what is happening? What? Especially because
Ma'am.
nobody else was doing it.
No
It was
one
like,
else.
Ma'am.
No one else.
There was like a tap dancing routine, someone in a kimono, and then just
She was like, here's my titties. I was like,
all over the place with what people were doing. I love that part though where one of the girls is like, yeah, my last producer or my last agent only had me do like pornos, and then she was like, can you save her for
something else,
another project that I have going on?
But sorry to interrupt. So
No, you're
better
good.
sound in
So the scene where, because I think they go to it a couple times. So essentially, yeah, like as you covered in the synopsis, after his wife passes, I think it's about 7 years before, where he's just living kind of like the bachelor life, the widow's life, taking care of his kid, and it's this kid who suggests to him like, hey, you should remarry. And before I forget, before I go too far down that hole, hopefully I remember to come back. I was curious, because especially since you've lived in Japan, is that something about like the culture where you just kind of hop to that part of it? Because like here you'd be like, ah, man, you should start dating again. But his son's like, get married again. Like he's not seen or had any dates at all in 7 years, and you just kind of just leap straight past the dating, and it's just like, marry somebody.
well, I don't think that's like a Japan thing. I think that's more like the way a child thinks type of deal. Like, and even though he's like Shigehiko by this time is like a teenager,
right?
He's
Yeah,
like 14, 15.
like he's so, and it's just, I think in his mind he's like, well, you're old, you don't date. Like, I don't want to hear about my dad dating.
Yeah.
I don't hear about my dad having another woman and being married. But I also do think to some degree, when you're kind of looking at like the way Japan is and how hard I guess it can be to be in that like courtship, that maybe in his mind he was just thinking like, the instant you get a lady in your life, just marry. Don't even don't worry about the courting part, just marry. But he also probably just thought like another woman in his dad's life would help, like
Bring him
kind of
joy,
bring him joy.
yeah.
Because while you are correct that, and for so long in this movie, I actually like forgot that it was a horror movie myself.
Yeah.
Because I was just like, nothing's happening. This is just like it almost came rom-com-y at one point, but then like there just kept being enough like almost like pressure and tension that was just so underlying throughout actually the whole beginning of the movie that you're just like, something's wrong. And maybe it was because I knew it was supposed to be a horror movie,
Right.
then I'm just sitting there like, but there's something like,
But where's the horror?
like the horror isn't here, but there's something that says something is about to happen.
Yeah.
Like, what is going to happen?
Yeah.
And then like when he brings up like the like Asami's her like audition stuff, and he's looking through it, and I'm like, okay, so she's the point of interest that we need to worry about. But then again, like after you even see that, it's still a while before you see her.
Yeah.
Because they gotta go through this like little montage of tap dancing and titties. But then like,
She's literally like one of the last people that comes in.
Yeah.
It's like audition 30 people. She's 28.
Yes. Yeah.
No
yeah.
clue what happened to 29 or 30. But like we get to
Tap
the
dancing and
point.
titties. Sorry, that
Just so succinct.
it's
What
like
a
the
way to.
new the new joint is gonna rival Hooters.
Hey, you ever been to tap dancing and titties?
Oh, TNT. Yeah, we're going tonight.
Great
TNT.
cocktail shrimp, man. Like,
What rivals
the best.
rings? Cocktail shrimp. And the mozzarella sticks?
Mozzarella sticks. They've been on Moz sticks.
Come in for the mozzarella sticks. Stay for the tap dancing and titties. Like a
That's
Chili's
what TNT
commercial.
stands for.
Triple dipper.
Sorry, you were saying.
No, just but there's just like kind of an underlying, because I think like everyone is just so like low energy.
Mm-hmm.
Like Aoyama is low energy, Yoshikawa is low energy. His like caretaker lady that comes across,
his
she's
house,
like relatively low energy. Like Shigehiko's kind of, and everyone is also awkward.
Yeah.
Like there's like all the interactions are just very awkward. Like him and that lady that we eventually find out that he slept with.
Yeah.
You're like, I was like so many times. I was like, what is her deal?
Exactly. I was like, what's going on with her?
I
Like,
had forgotten to
leave now. Like, why are you telling him you're getting married? Like, what?
Yeah.
Like, why would he care?
And it's one of those things where, like I was saying with Event Horizon, where it's just like it's like I find that fun just to kind of like sit and look at that and be like, why is this happening?
Mm-hmm.
Because then it makes more sense. Like once you get to that part and he's kind of going through that fever dream where the person going down on him keeps changing between all these different people, and then she says that, and I was like, well, that makes sense because the way that she looked at him the first time that we were even introduced to her, like she has this look of longing, like almost, and the way that she says like, hey, I'm going to get married, almost as if she's trying to make him jealous and trying to get like a rise out of him.
Yeah, I thought she was gonna be the one that was gonna be the
crazy
killer.
Yeah.
I was just waiting on her. I was like, man, she's gonna pop back up and be crazy.
And so with the way that it goes, it's like I was like watching this movie thinking about like having been on Hinge and having been on Bumble. It's like, man, that's what he needed, dude. Just like having him to go through the hoops of like creating a fake audition. And granted, I know that wasn't originally his idea. I think that came from his
That was all
buddies,
Yoshikawa.
but,
Yoshikawa is just a character, and he is the sole reason that this happened. Because I'm certain that Aoyama could have just gone out and like come 100%.
Like he's a relatively successful like dude.
Yeah.
Like, he should have. So it's that part is I think very interesting. And I did another question here for you because it reminded me. At least I read something that like in Japanese culture, like the long dark hair, sort of like pale skinned figure is usually kind of like considered like because The Grudge, right, is a very pale, very long dark hair. And then the first time that you even see Asami, that you don't see her face, it's just from behind. She's sitting at that table when he's going to the bathroom, but he can tell that it's her. And it's just this like white, like deep white uniform that she's wearing, or like.
She wears white a lot.
Yeah, she wears white a lot. And the long dark hair that's hitting her shoulders. Because not everyone that went to that audition, I think it was a pretty like, decent variety of women that all wore their hairs in very different ways. But she wore hers specifically that way that kind of reminded me of Ju-on a little bit. So is that like... So that really is something that in their culture is like like an urban legend, I guess?
No, it's yokai.
Yokai?
Yeah.
What is
It's
demon
like a demon,
spirit?
like monster spirit. Like
okay.
So in Japanese culture, yokai are just different. Almost like think of them as like cryptozoological things, but they can also be like spiritual, depending upon the yokai itself. So like different yokai are like the kappa or oni. Oh, I'm sorry. I think when we were talking about sinners, you had mentioned like yokai oni about like the red and blue of yeah. So there are just like a number of them, right?
Yeah.
And then I guess technically a tanuki is also a yokai, but that actually I forget the name of it, what that yokai is, but Ju-on, Ringu. In this case, Asami. Also, to some degree, if you think about it, Lady Dimitrescu are all that yokai.
Okay. That's interesting. Yeah, it's, there was, so again, when it comes to just, like, the subtle hints that they give about kind of, like, where everyone, like, these people's sort of intentions, I noticed there's a scene, and I hadn't noticed this before, but this would be the scene, I think, when they meet up again. So, like, they go out on a date, and then I think Yoshikawa is like, hey, you might not want to call her, and Ayama's trying to, like, obey that, right? And he's having this hard time just trying to stay away from the phone and giving her a call. But obviously, Asami is, like, very much waiting and longing for that call she talks about a lot. So they go to that bar, and I think this would be the date that they go on where she's wearing that, like, she's wearing all white red, except for that red fur sort of, like, scarf. And a lot of times I notice that when they shoot them and they're both in the same frame, they're almost always shot from a distance. Like, for instance, after one of their first dates, you hear the voiceover of them.
They're just like walking in like a far away, but
and the camera's super far away, like it's a voyeur, like you're just like a fly, just kind of in Tokyo. But during that other date, when they're sitting there, the camera is far enough away that so you have Asami sitting on the left hand side and then Ayama on the right hand side. But there is this obstruction that's not technically in between them, but it's in the foreground of the shot, and it looks like it's like a glass window. And what I noticed is that the bar, so it's a metal bar that goes up, and it kind of holds a piece of glass in it, and it almost makes it look like Oyama's behind a glass with Asami is like looking at him, almost as if he is the object of her affection. Because she says some pretty wild stuff, right? Like, when she says, love me. Yes, I'll love you. Only me. And, like, literally, he didn't realize in that moment that she meant...
Yeah, no, the instant she said that, I was like, that means nobody else. This is a wrap.
Yes, exactly.
She will start killing people.
Yeah,
now.
and so when I'm looking at that scene, it almost kind of like it is framed in such a way that makes it feel like she is at a zoo and he is an exhibit there to, like, for her to put her focus on, to throw that energy into, and just to sort of observe him, which kind of sort of happens again towards the end of the movie when we have that kind of weird sort of Evil Dead kind of flowing
like
through the house, looking at the dog and stuff like that. So yeah, so it was just one of those things that I noticed, and maybe that wasn't the intention, but it just kind of gave me this sense of like that he is just this object, that he is sort of an animal to her to be put on display. And as we see, like, she doesn't really seem to care much about the lives of animals. R.I.P. Gangu.
Gangu, man.
Man.
I knew it was eventually going to happen, but it pissed me off. Because I was like, Gangu has been doing nothing wrong.
He's been chilling.
Gangu actually been hiding most of the time. He barely shows up. When he does, he just gets himself a little snack, disappears, go back to his... like. They're always looking for Gangu. They're like, Gangu! And he's just like, what? I'm trying to just chill.
Yeah.
I want to know what the adventures of Gangu were before he died.
A Studio Ghibli movie. Like,
yeah.
Adventures of Gangu. But what did you guys think of the climax and everything that happened? And also, for you guys, where do you feel the climax started? Like, where it really kind of made you feel uneasy?
I genuinely... I thought I was following along.
Yep.
And so I have to assume that the climax is when they get to the wherever that like hotel is.
Oh.
Because all of the following, everything falls out from that.
When she leaves, when he wakes up, that's what I was thinking as well, yeah. And he gets that call, and she's like, hey, your guest left.
It's like, your guest left. And now he's looking for her. And I literally wrote, I was like, I don't know how many like hints you have to get to get the fuck away, but you got a significant amount of them.
Yeah,
a lot of red flags.
Like my man, they were so like I was just like, why are you still pursuing this? Like you want to die at this point because you are getting a lot of information here.
Yeah,
like he's following up and he's like, hey man, don't like that person. That bar isn't open anymore. That person, the owner died.
Been dead for a year.
Been dead for a year. And some crazy stuff happened. He's like, I should probably look into that some more. And I'm like, why?
He hallucinated a tongue and some ears. Like,
yeah. And then he like falls back as if he
I
actually
love that he falls back
like,
and that person does not react.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, yep. Like, it happens to everyone.
Yeah. Every Japandi I tell that story to.
So at some point, I got to thinking to myself, like, what part is real? What is real and what is not anymore?
Yeah,
I was having that same. Yep,
100%. And then also, I started to wonder if that's kind of partly the reason why they they are filmed together as a couple that way, to where it's always distance, because it seems like, for as much as he felt that he was infatuated with her, like he felt that he was infatuated before her, even before he met her, even before she made it into the audition, because like if you notice, he never asked any questions when it came to anyone else of like the 30 or so people that they saw, and it was all Yoshikawa who's like asking these questions and kind of direct, like in control of things. And it's only when Asami comes in that he actually, even Yoshikawa was like,
Yeah, that's
You
what
can
he
ask a
done.
question.
like, yeah, like, you're
like-
asking a question now. And it was all based off of like what he read in her essay. But then I think it comes to beg the question of like, does he really know her? Which obviously the answer is no. Like, how many dates do they go on before he goes to his son and is like, yeah, I'm seeing somebody and I'm gonna propose to her. Like, as an audience member, I felt so distanced from that relationship, and it makes me wonder if it was intentional to kind of like further emphasize that he's making all of these decisions based off of just like this superficial connection that he has with this person, and he's kind of bridging the gap with what his own fantasies are about who she is. So like, yeah, like there's all of these red flags, but he's just bursting through him because in his mind he thinks that he has the ability to make sound decisions. And even his son is like, you might need me to meet her because you're getting older and you probably can't trust your own insight into things. Literally says it to his face.
It's also super weird that he chose, like, it was weird because when he was at the restaurant with Yoshikawa and they were talking, and he said he wanted a mature woman who, like, you know, had her own thing and her own bill and stuff, and then he ends up with this like 24-year-old woman. And I'm like, what happened to the mature woman?
Right.
I just thought that was so weird, and like, I so can't tell what was real and what was not. Like, what was all in his head, what was fabricated, what's like, was she responsible for the things that were going on in his head, or was it just that he himself really felt guilty, or like, I couldn't tell like what was happening there, especially like in the actual like in fever dream part, where I was like, am I having a fever dream right now? What is going on here? But it just kind of came across as, like you had said, he just created this delusion upon himself of what she was about. And because I think whenever we were seeing them together, so juxtaposing it to like what happens during like the fever dream part, I don't know if we were watching things through his perspective, and then during that fever dream part we were watching what actually had happened, or if they were flipped. So because like when they're in the, I want to say like the restaurant in their like second date,
The red restaurant, like the more fancier.
yeah, like she heard the conversation they had was completely different than
it's
like
not the red one.
I think it's the blue one.
Yeah,
that
where they had
in.
like the beer.
Yeah,
Like the big,
and like he asked her about her parents, and she said, "Yeah, they're fine."
Yeah,
and like I'm not really super close with them, but I'm not like distant either, and they're all cool. Like they just moved and stuff, and then like during the fever dream part, she's like, "Yeah, like I was being abused," and like, but he's still sitting there like taking it all in, like, "Yeah, okay, I can understand that," and I'm like, did she actually tell him that information? And he just like,
that is a great point, because I think in that moment when he's going back over it, it seemed like his responses were the same.
Yeah.
But hers weren't.
Hers were like completely different.
Yeah. No, dude, that's.
Yeah.
And so that he was. Do you think that was basically like she's giving him these very sort of like ambiguous answers, which should be in themselves red flags, but that he's just hearing something totally different,
or she's explaining like, this is my horrible backstory, and he's like, oh wow,
like, oh, there's nothing wrong with that.
Wow.
But he was like so focused in on being like, this is the one for me, that like he just like wasn't paying attention to it. Like I couldn't tell, like, because like I was thinking to myself that by the time they had gotten to the point where like they were about to have sex, I was like, is there attraction here?
Truly,
These two,
there's no spark. They have no chemistry.
I was like, she is like she's unleavened bread.
Yeah,
that's her personality.
Unleavened bread,
unleavened, like it isn't even risen. There's no like flavor or anything to this bread. Like,
So that's like lower than milk toast.
Yes.
That's because we gotta have our toast hierarchy here.
Because toast implies that it's been like baked and stuff.
Yeah.
So then there's
It's been
like
cooked.
Yes, it has
Milk
risen.
toast.
Yeah.
So unleavened.
yeah, it's like she just there was nothing there, and yet he was like
Just
on cloud nine,
Right.
Yeah.
like humming and smiling to himself. And I was like, it sucks because whenever those two are together, they're never around other people
Yeah.
that would be
Yes.
able to say anything
Yeah.
about it.
Yep.
And so we only have his like
Unreliable narrator. ass.
to go off of, because we also don't see her in until like maybe the end. I don't know what's her and what's him.
Right.
The end is just, and then that's it.
Yeah.
And
It's
then
just
roll
sitting there like,
credits. Yeah.
Yeah.
well, okay.
Yeah.
I had to go back and watch it again because I still am not sure what
Yeah.
happened.
It be that way sometimes, man. And
Hey,
like,
that's art, baby.
and I know it's like a weird one, so I definitely appreciate you guys spending the time to watch it. But yeah, it's definitely one of those ones where it's not. It does become very difficult to kind of discern between what's reality and like what is this. It kind of reminds me of like when we were talking about Battle Royale. How sometimes like there would be during a scene like that black card with white text would come up, and it almost kind of seemed like a character, especially Nanahara, would kind of like react to what that was, and it was kind of weird because you're sitting there like, is he hearing something? Like, is like the text narration of this sort of somehow and so I just wonder if like if we were to watch more films from that region, would you see that more as something that they just do as far as not feeling the need to explain like, oh hey, we're cutting into a dream like state now, to where and I think in like Western culture there's usually sort of like an indication that you're making that slip, not always, but you know, it's a little bit easier to discern, where here it's just like weaving in and out, almost kind of like, it kind of reminds me of like suffering from like sleep paralysis, to where you're trying to wake up, and that's literally, I guess, kind of how he finds himself. Yeah. So like where you're trying to wake up and you think that what you're experiencing is real, but it almost at the same time like it's not real, because you should have complete control over your body, but it's like your mind is awake but your body isn't, and it's this weird sense of like I have no idea what's around me. I almost kind of feel displaced, and it does that a lot. And there are parts where even as people, other side characters are sharing stories, that it almost kind of seems like their words are able to pull him into that story, into that explanation. Like for instance, when I'm assuming that was like her stepfather that he meets playing the piano, which brings up another thing where it's like they really had no qualms, because that, I forgot how uncomfortable that all made me feel, because like that's a kid, dude. And he's crawling towards her and her legs are, even the way that she's doing the ballet and she kind of like kneels, squats down, I'm like, oh, okay, I can't.
It was bad. Yeah, that one was very icky.
Yes, it was so fucking icky.
Yeah, that just and I guess like that's when it really started breaking down for me, and I was like, what's happening here? Like, are we just getting multiple different perspectives? And like, is he experiencing these things? Like, is Aoyama experiencing this flashback that we're seeing here? And then you just start to notice all the other things, like whenever that dude was able to like stand up, you're like, what is going on with the bottom of his legs there? And then when that dude comes out of the bag, and I'm like,
no feet on the bag.
Did he see that? Was Aoyama there present? Or is this the fever dream part? How does he know about this dude? Or like, and then I guess the bag. Who was in that bag?
I don't know exactly. I don't know if they ever explained.
Like,
who
was that the owner of the restaurant, or was that the dude from the record company?
So I did some Reddit investigation, because this is apparently based off a book, and in the book there is no bag. So this is a movie.
So it's just
movie
made
edition.
up.
So there's no like real explanation. But for the record, I think it might be from the book, but the guy died of a heart attack.
Oh.
And then I think she thought that was him like leaving her. But then I think the man in the bag is maybe supposed to be the lover of the bar owner.
Okay.
And then
Because I think in the movie they say that the record company guy just disappeared
yeah,
18 months ago,
right.
and that would kind of be like, well, maybe that could be him. But then they were talking about the tongue and the fingers and stuff at the bar,
Right.
which made me think, okay, that has to be it. But then I remember him being specifically told that information, so then I'm like, did he just imagine
Right.
the information?
Yeah.
And I think Miike really is choosing to like leave you just out of the loop
For sure.
on all of it,
Yep.
which is like, I think maybe that's probably why this is a relatively lauded film, because it makes you have to ask a lot of questions,
Yeah.
and nothing's really given to you, which is like, that is a good tool for art to give you, like, make you ask questions.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of fucking questions.
Not a lot of answers.
Yeah,
I will say she got messed up at the end.
Okay,
Also, don't even
kicked
get
up
her
the
deal.
stairs.
What was she spraying him with? Like, what?
I don't know what was in that. I have no idea what was in that, but
because it did not work.
Yeah, because I was like, oh, maybe it's like pepper spray, but
Yeah.
then like he would just kind of just like, oh,
He
what
was
the
like,
hell is this?
"What
Yeah,
is this?"
and then
He
just
was
like kicked her.
super
Yeah.
kicked her.
Gave her a mule kick. Took her
Yeah.
took her out the game.
And I wonder, and I guess like thinking about the way that she would attack these people, what she would do, because the guy that was playing the piano, and I'm assuming that's her stepdad, it looked like his feet had been cut off. And
Yeah,
then
that's
sort
what I
of
was.
replaced.
Yeah, like it looks
So-
like that was a thing that she would do.
Yeah, kind of just as, I don't know if it's supposed to be more of like metaphorical, of like, oh, you can't run away from me, you can't leave. This is what's supposed to be able to keep you.
I wouldn't say metaphorical. She actually said that.
Yeah, like
Well,
physically.
yeah.
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 she was like,
And because, yeah.
yeah, this makes it so that you can't get away from me. And it's like, oh, okay.
Oh, dude, the sound, man.
Oh yeah.
The sound of the
the
wire.
garret wire, the garage.
That was
whatever.
beyond a garage wire. I don't know
Yeah.
what that was. That was a super.
Super bone cutter.
Deeper, deeper.
Yeah.
deeper. Oh.
Ugh.
How do you survive that? Like, I mean, like, not like how do you survive as in like how does your body survive? Like, how do you come out the other end of that?
Yeah, you
Nah,
don't.
yeah.
Just so traumatized. Because she was like partly way through his other foot too.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, dude. Mm.
So, rip.
Dude.
She stuck him with a whole bunch of needles in his stomach,
Yeah.
and then proceeded to sit on his stomach,
Yes, that too.
while then putting needles underneath his eyes.
Between his...
Ugh.
Yeah. And she's just gleefully
Having a good time.
doing this.
Just,
Yeah.
And it's also interesting to note that she finally like broke up the white with the color that wasn't like a bright color.
Yeah.
Like that
Oh,
was
like
the
the
time she
black
finally wore
rubber.
black.
Yeah. Her butcher's
And
outfit.
suddenly, like her personality was completely changed. She
Yeah.
was much more. That's why when you were going through the synopsis, I was like, "Well, by the time we find her to be energetic and not the way she was, that's way too late."
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty interesting movie.
Yeah.
Pretty interesting movie. Again, appreciate you guys watching it. But as you know, we're coming across that time. We've got to ask the question of how many Panharmonicons does it get? How many Panharmonicon does it get? How many Panharmonicon does it get? Spit.
I would say I'm hovering between a 4 and a 4.5. This is definitely up there for me. I did a very, like I said it for Event Horizon, I love a slow burn. I was very like, when's the horror coming in? And then I was like, oh, there it is. Okay, there's a man in a bag. All right.
I'm surprised because
She
when you
slumped.
said like earlier and you're like, I'm not gonna lie, I had to look up the synopsis again after I watched this
Yeah.
movie. I was like, oh, you probably didn't like it.
No, I was just like, I needed to know. Like, that's the thing you were saying about art. I was like, I was hooked. I was like, just give me these answers. Like, what happened?
I think it invites great conversation. I've loved
For
having
sure.
a conversation here with you guys about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites. Like, and I don't know again if it's one of those like nostalgia things, but it was definitely one of the first horror films I think I saw where it was so vastly different from like many of the others, especially that I've seen from Western culture up until that point. And again, it was just kind of one of those markers for me where it was like, okay, I've spent all this time thinking that a movie of this genre had to be this thing. And then I came across something or shown something where it was like, oh, it doesn't have to be this thing. And I can still be entertained. I can still drive towards it. So yeah, I would give it a 4.
I would also give it 4 Panharmonicons out of 5. It was so interesting, but it also, I guess, like, because I've kind of consumed a lot of that media, so familiar at the same time.
Okay.
But what was, I think, most interesting to me was that it really showed that horror, and I think Juon and Ringu also do this, that horror doesn't have to be this like large sprawling like event.
Yeah.
I think in Western horror, far too often there are just way too many people in it, because it kind of has to show you just how impactful it's got to be.
Yeah.
Like, not all of it does it, but I found like there's only, I mean, because there's like a grand total like 5 characters you ever really have to pay attention to in this movie.
Oh yeah,
And
very low.
everything is so contained that the horror ends up being, I mean, what happens to Aoyama, that's horror, but the horror in this is just the human psyche itself,
Truly, yeah.
and like what that can do to like yourself and to other people's psyche. Like him ultimately showing that like while she is crazy, he is perverse. It showed that like neither of them are a good person ultimately, and led me to be like, okay, like this is crazy and these things are happening, and this person that I kind of felt like is the protagonist actually isn't all that good of a person when it comes down to it. So like what does that mean? What does that mean for me?
Yeah.
The person who's like, I was like, now perspective has to play a role in here, because I'm being given a certain perspective all the way into that perspective is now forced to change. And like, it's body horror and mind horror put together. And I think that was like a good thing. It was like a big thing for me. I was like, it showed that you can do both, and you can put them in a very small space and make it really, really work.
Yeah.
And like do it on a Japanese movie budget, which is like
$2.
Yeah.
$250,000.
Yeah, that's
My
great.
goodness.
But I mean, there's not like going through it, there aren't that many set. Like
No.
they don't go
Yeah.
many places.
Yeah.
Like you said, not many characters. You don't have to pay a lot of people, so makes sense.
Yeah, dude, and especially when you don't have like very, I don't know if articulate is really the like complex shots. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like which
lot
also
of
can be very
stills,
expensive.
lot-
Yeah,
yeah.
it's a lot of just like static, far away, nothing too like crazy where you're weaving in and out.
I think
So
the
is
only
it-
like tracking shot is like when they're at the office, like when it's Aoyama and blanking on the name, but his producer
secretary?
friend.
Oh,
And
yeah,
they're like
Chihuahua.
going through,
Yeah.
like they're going through
Yeah.
his office, and
Yeah.
he's like, "Hey, like chill out." It's like that's really.
I was
the
like,
only
for the
one.
most part, it looks like it could have been done with just like a dude with a camera on his shoulder.
Yeah, for sure.
Like,
Yeah, dude.
Just the
It's
handheld.
a far cry from, I know, especially since we just recently covered this like, Chronicle. And I know when we were talking about that, you like mentioned how complex the starts to get just because he, now he's using his abilities
Yeah.
and whatnot. But yeah, definitely glad you guys enjoyed the movie. Thank you for
Thanks
watching
for
it. and-
suggesting.
Thank you for suggesting. And I want to thank you guys, you, the audience, you, the listener, for listening. This has been another episode. And Spotify peeps, I'm going to point you guys out first this time. I want you guys to give us a rating on Spotify. 1s and 5s. That's your thumb up. That's your thumbs down. Didn't like this? 1. You loved it? 5. If you felt some sort of way? 2 through 4. But let us know. Drop a comment if you've seen Audition, and I would really kind of hope that you have, because we don't not spoil things on here. So if you've seen Audition, if you've seen some of Mr. Miike's other work, let us know what you thought in the comments. For my YouTube guys, like with a thumbs up. Don't like, thumbs down. Subscribe if you like this. You know what? Subscribe if you didn't like us.
Whoa.
I'll take a hate watcher. Drop a comment if you've seen Audition.
Please.
And if you have seen Audition and you think there's some other things that are like Audition that we might like, drop that in the comments.
Yeah. Sound
Spotify,
off.
you as well. Sound off, as they say. Smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, and hit the notification bell, because we want to give you more things, but we also want you to know that we're giving you more things. We don't want you to be like, Damon, I haven't I haven't seen anything that you've been saying you've been putting out because I've been putting it out. But YouTube doesn't really want you to know that we're putting it out. So you got to hit that notification so that you can know, you can be in the know.
Yeah.
We want you in the know, you know? So
I know.
do all those things for us. Do not forget to follow us on our socials. Pretty much everything. We're on Twitter. We're on Blue Sky. We're on Instagram. We have a TikTok. I've never told them that we have a TikTok.
Ooh.
We have a TikTok. It is going nowhere. But it's everything's Panharmonicon Studios. And I want to thank you just one more time for deciding to give us guys, out of all the people that you could, your hour plus a listen. And this has been Damon.
This has been Farron.
And this has been Andrew.
And I want to thank you once more for listening to Panharmonicon Studios Presents
Podcast.
Podcasto. Arigato gozaimasu. Minasan.
Sumimasen. I guess that's not a way to exit.
I was like, huh? what, you need something?
No. Just remember from our time in Japan, man.
Yeah, what is it just for food? That's the only other one that I know.
Itadakimasu.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
It's like thanks for the food or something, or like let's eat.
Itadakimasu is let's eat.
Let's eat. There.
Dochiso-sama is like.
You didn't say that one
Thank you
time
for
when
the
we were in
food.
Japan. I don't remember you saying itadakimasu.
Why would I say itadakimasu?
Let's eat. When we were like at
At a restaurant, why would I say itadakimasu?
I'm sorry.
I think it's more like
That's
like an
the thing
anime
you would do.
thing, or
Like, I mean, like you could do that like in a home. Like if you went to somebody's house and they like made you food,
Yeah.
you would say like you'd be like itadakimasu.
But you wouldn't say that in a restaurant with your
No,
food?
not
at the
really.
Table?
No, you just eat.
Okay.
Eh,
But let's eat.
okay, little Japanese tidbit at the end there. There you go. This is why you listen to the end of the episode, folks.
Every time.
Yep, you didn't get this at the beginning. So,
We just got the economy.
if you
guys.
scrubbed
Oh.
to the end,
No scrubs.
we don't like scrubs. Scrubs are guys who can't get no love from TLC.
His best friend's right.
Yeah. All right. Thank you guys for listening.
Bye.